Lilith is the dark feminine energy. There's an asteroid Lilith, and then there's also a calculated point Lilith and like an interpolated point Lilith. But I'm going to be talking about Black Moon Lilith, which is like the calculated point Lilith. But asteroid Lilith also has importance as well and similar themes, but it's a little bit different. So Black Moon Lilith in our chart shows it's like when we say dark feminine, to me, it means all of the things that go into feminine energies that society likes to deem as taboo, or things that we don't like to talk about because it has to deal with women, because we live in a patriarchal system. But because men and women both have feminine and masculine energy, Lilith is something that affects both men and women, just like the patriarchy affects both men and women. And so Lilith, it's like growing up in this world, we naturally have natural tendencies about us that go into our personality, things that we want to do, ways that we want to express ourselves. And society naturally has a lot of ways, because there's a lot of boundaries that have to do with society. Think very like Saturn-like boundaries, that kind of restrictions, and how like you're supposed to act and fit in and things like that. A little bit Uranus themes. But Lilith in the chart basically is where we have subconsciously learned to repress the natural parts of us to then better fit in with society. But it also has to do with the like sexual creative energy within us as well. So that again is like the taboo nature of the dark feminine energy. So because it's very like scorpionic in a lot of ways. So Lilith is the type of repressed feelings that we don't like to talk about openly, that we feel very uncomfortable usually talking about. So for example, if Lilith sits in your second house, then you could have a lot of repressed values when it comes to yourself, and that could affect your self-worth and your confidence very heavily. If you have Lilith in your seventh house, you could have a lot of repressions when it comes to what you want in relationships, and also like maybe business partnerships, one-on-one, working with people one-on-one. And you can hold back a lot of yourself and repress a lot of yourself in those one-on-one relationships. If you have in the third house, you could repress a lot of the way that you think and communicating a lot of how you actually want to communicate. So Lilith is a very important placement in the chart, and because it also has that sexual theme to it, then there's also themes of I would say like jealousy and control issues that go into that, self-esteem and self-worth, that all naturally kind of mix into that no matter what placement, what house placement the Lilith is in. And so because Lilith has these taboo themes to the repressions, that's what makes Lilith so challenging for us to find a balance to. Because when we can find a balance to Lilith, we can tap into very powerful feminine energy that is so sure of herself that society cannot sway how he or she will see herself anymore. It's like that Valkyrie warrior spirit that basically is not afraid to do what she wants to do. The origin story being like the Eve before Eve, and Adam and Eve. And so yeah, there's a lot that goes to Lilith, so I can definitely talk about Lilith more.